Hey there everyone, Exelbirth here, and interesting Minecraft video today. I'm not going to be doing any series on this. This is just a little fun I've been having with the command blocks and making spawners. And I think I've got a way to make a sort of siege attack type thing on a village using a bunch of arrows. Anyway, I was messing around with the ability to create spawners at will, and I'm working on trying to figure out how to make potions that actually have effects on them. Don't know how to do that yet. If anyone knows, please let me know in the description below. I would like that. But one of the cool things you can do is you can make it so that a spawner will spawn and shoot out arrows in any direction. For example, if I sit around here for a moment, we have a huge swarm of arrows just raining down on us from a location that can be outside of our vision if we so desire it. And that was basically a timed attack, so just a short barrage of arrows able to lay waste to the village. There's not very many villagers left, honestly. I've been testing this a lot. Alright, this one just kind of uses a very long delay to where it turns it off. And the commands for doing this are pretty long, so I'm going to have to include them in the description below. But the main things to keep in mind are the set block location. This is setting the spawner relative to where the command block is at. Right now it's just spawning at 4 blocks in the air. The spawn count, that determines how many arrows it's spawning every time it spawns arrows. The spawn range, the area it will spawn the arrows in. Delay is how frequently it will spawn the arrows. MaxNearbyEntities, how many arrows it will allow to exist before it stops spawning them. So if you want to make it so that this is gonna stop shooting eventually, you can do that. Keep in mind though that the arrows will stop spawning after, well, the arrows on the ground will despawn after 1 minute. So if you have it go for too long, then you're just gonna end up having a non-stop loop of arrows shooting. And player range, that's how close the player has to be for the spawner to work. SpawnPotentials, no idea what that is. But I know under the SpawnPotentials it has the type arrow, that's the entity it's spawning. Properties, well, that determines the motion, I know that much. And the motion, it breaks down to direction X, direction Y, direction Z. So if it's positive on the X, it's going to go in the positive X direction. If it's negative on the X, it'll go the opposite way. Same for all the others. And then in order to get rid of the spawner, I have a second command block set to replace the spawner with air after a certain amount of time. Right now that time is completely tied to, repeaters. It is quite a bit of fun to mess around with this though, because you can make it so it goes kind of crazy and has the arrows shooting out really fast in a single direction. Like so. So you can get a huge blast of arrows that are pretty much unavoidable. And that can be used for making interesting traps in adventure maps, probably. But the thing I've been working on the most lately is actually this bundle of wool and redstone over here. Now this is a transfer clock, I think it's called. What it does is it has one item bouncing between the two hoppers, and the command block here is making it so that the one hopper on the left side is going to delay the length of time. It's going to increase the length of time to when it actually will spit the item back into the other hopper by this many ticks. Right now I have it set to 100, so that's about 5 seconds, I think. Anyway, when the item's over here, it activates a redstone signal, which is being used to turn on these randomizers. Now, these randomizers are very, very simple. What they do is they have a bunch of junk and a couple swords, and when the sword pops out, it'll send a signal that gets all the way to here and activates an arrow barrage in one area. If it doesn't have a sword in the hopper, the signal is going to be only one redstone piece away and will not activate anything at all. So you can stack this multiple times. It's very modular, this section. So you can have multiple areas that arrows can spawn from to attack the village. So let's give this thing a go. Okay, we're having 2 arrow barrages. One from over there and one from over there. You can actually see the arrow spawners show up every now and then. Now, the cool thing about that is you can make it so that you have a player in an area and they're just trying to find a safe place to hide from a barrage of arrows that they don't know for sure when is actually going to show up. Because due to the randomizer, it can come from either over there, or over there, and it activates about every 5 seconds, so it can be an arrow barrage every 5 seconds, or it could take a full minute for the next barrage of arrows to show up. You don't know. And I think that's pretty cool. Stupid rain. Let's actually decrease the time. We're going to go with 60. That's about every 3 seconds. And if you want to increase the odds that a barrage will actually happen, you can just simply replace some of the items in here with more swords. Like, for instance, I can get rid of this slime ball and this pressure plate. And this is now close to a 50% chance of the arrows actually attacking. You also can decrease the amount of other items to give it a higher probability. So if I were to get rid of all this, that's an 80% chance that it's going to shoot arrows from that direction. Very customizable, and I like it. So we're pretty much guaranteed to be getting an arrow barrage from that direction every 3 seconds. You also can combine this with a guaranteed arrow barrage coming from a single direction. So instead of putting a randomizer in place, you would just set up those 2 command blocks like I did for over there, and it'll always guarantee that arrows will come from one direction no matter what. So that's the little siege attack thing that I have going. It's an interesting thing, and me and some friends are actually working on a server right now where we might implement something like this. It's kind of a RP server that we're building, and hopefully that'll be pretty cool and fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little contraption. If you want to build it yourself, go for it. The design is very simple. You can pause the video and just copy me as much as you wish. I do not care. So, give a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, and I will see you in another episode. Take care, guys, and goodbye.